Kia ora whānau, welcome back. Wellness Wednesday with me. I'm Troy from Black Dog Survivors and Support Riders, and welcome to the Black Dog Lounge. Tonight, part 2, exploring some of the more common mental health challenges in New Zealand, and we're going to carry on taking a bit of a look at bipolar disorder. So, it's coming right up, stick around. Kia ora whānau, welcome back. So tonight, bipolar disorder, and we're going to have a look at I suppose some of the possible causes for bipolar, or where does it come from, how does it happen, but we're not going to get into why it happens. Why did this happen to me? We're not even going to go there, because that's a whole nother series of videos. And you'll have to excuse me because I don't want to forget anything. I've got some notes in front of me, and you can probably see the glare on my glasses, so my apologies if that's a little bit distracting for you. I know it's a bit distracting for me anyway. So the debate on bipolar and in fact many of our mental health challenges, it still rages on in the psychoscience field. And there seems to be a whole range of different theories about what causes mental health challenges and where it comes from. And for me, some of it makes sense and some of it just leaves me a little bit cold. And I suppose as with any of the common mental health challenges, there'll be a blend or a mix of realities out there. And maybe as many realities as there are people struggling. But at the end of the day, does any of this really matter to us? And I guess the answer to that lies within our own experiences. Because for me, it might be a little bit too late to worry about where it comes from and what causes it. But for the future of mental health in New Zealand, I guess it's a relatively important question that does demand a lot more attention and a lot more research, and certainly a lot more understanding. So, what are some of the current understandings or suggestions? One of the suggestions is that in some instances there seems to be a clear genetic connection. What this leads us to believe is that it could be passed down from generation to generation, but not necessarily. The research, and what the research is really suggesting to me, is that the genes are leaving clues in the form of markers, genetic markers, and these markers are influencing our susceptibility to a range of illnesses, including bipolar. But the markers are not a guarantee by any means. If they were, then I can imagine we would have whole families afflicted with the same health and well-being challenges. And that's not the case. So some other suggestions infer that our immune response system may be involved. And what the hell does that mean? From what I can tell, if our immune system has been compromised in a number of different ways, it can leave us susceptible to a whole range of illnesses. And our mental health system is one such target. Similarly, there's growing evidence to suggest that our ACEs, or our adverse childhood experiences, may also play a part in the development of health and well-being challenges. And the evidence really does link wonderfully between a number of childhood experiences, our perception of these experiences, and the future of our health and well-being as a whole. And these experiences can include abuse, bullying, the death of a or separation from a significant loved one, witnessing violent events, growing up in poverty, etc., etc. I think you get the story on adverse childhood experiences. What if we combined all these theories in just one person? And I guess if we do that, we can create a perfect storm for compromised health and well-being. So what can we do if we are experiencing the challenge of bipolar? First and foremost, it's really, really important to get some professional help and some advice. And a visit to our GP is usually the first step in managing most of the common mental health challenges. Now, it's important to try and find a GP who understands mental health from a broad perspective. And to do that, we need to be asking as many questions as we possibly can. Don't rush into the relationship if you're not comfortable, because you need to be telling them everything you can about your experience, warts and all. And it wasn't until I'd learnt for myself how to describe clearly the full range of symptoms I was experiencing that I got a very clear diagnosis. And again, for me, this was a real turning point in my life and in managing my experiences and really helped me reshape my life to try and live the very best way possible. And one of my first steps in understanding and managing my challenges was to join a support group, talking therapy amongst peers, people who came with similar experiences, people who refused to judge me or belittle me in any way. It helped, and it just helped. Now, I learned from this group a range of coping strategies that felt right for me. I also learned a very effective tool that I added to my kete, my toolkit. And I'm going to speak on this in a later video, but it was a wrap, a complete wellness recovery action plan that helped me manage not just my mental health challenges, but parts of my life, such as relationships, work, hobbies, lifestyle changes I wanted to incorporate and the like. But to finish this part on what we can do, vitamins, minerals, education, rest and relaxation, and understanding our early warning signs, our triggers, and then acting in ways that are ultimately healing for us is absolutely critical to successfully managing bipolar and many other mental health and well-being challenges. Now, bipolar, it's not an easy illness to live with, and possibly one of the worst daily grinds that I really wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But there have been some positives that have come from my experience, and generally speaking, I enjoy a lot in my life. In particular, I love the creative energy that my mania brings about. When I can harness it and see it through, I yield results that I'm really happy with. In fact, I used to use my mania to help in my work as a shoe designer, then later as a custom footwear manufacturer, channeling my seemingly never-ending energy to make some wonderful creations, some footwear that I'm still proud of today. So there are a number of ways that living successfully with bipolar can bring about some real benefits to us. It's not easy. It's not an easy illness. You know, I live with it firsthand, and you know, my wife and my son and my friends and my family, they live with it vicariously through me, and I know that it's a real challenge for them, and I know that it's been very, very difficult, and you know, I'm just going to put it out there to all my friends and in particular my wife and my son. I just want to thank you for sticking with me through some incredibly challenging times. Those times when the mania had turned into manic psychoses. You know, you stuck there with me. You didn't understand what was going on, but you didn't give up on me, and I really thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. The drug-induced psychoses, you stuck with me. My recovery through drug addiction, you stuck with me, and none of it has been easy for any of us as a family, but sticking together, working out the big picture shit, what's really, really important to our family, and ceaselessly striving and trudging sometimes to get there, that makes a huge difference. So anyway, enough of that before I get all emotional. This has been Wellness Wednesday with me. I've been Troy. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for leaving comments in the comments box. I read all of them. You know, it really, really does help. I read all of them. Let's be honest, I read the two in the comments box. I really do appreciate knowing that this might help somebody understand mental health and well-being from hopefully a more positive perspective. So don't forget, leave a comment in the box below. Hit that like button if you want to. If you enjoy this sort of content and the other content that's on my channel, please feel free to subscribe, and if you think it might help somebody else, go ahead and share it. Until next week, everybody, please take care. If you are riding, please be really careful out there. So from me, that's it. Love you lots. See you next week.